Yo, what is going on, guys? EJ here, bringing on the Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. Today, guys, I've got a super good, informative video for you. This is going to help you an absolute ton. Basically, it's an updated video from my best troops and commander combinations video. Now that I have all of the special units unlocked, except for hobbits, which could be useful, but I don't have those for the good side. So we're going to be going end, obviously, tier 4 troops. So I'm going to be going through pretty much nearly every single commander, except for just a couple of the tier 3 ones. But I have every single tier 1 and tier 2 commander here, guys. I'm going to be showing you the best army combinations for maximum damage, maximum defense. So yeah, let's not muck around. Let's get into it. Alright, so I'll show you every single one I've got, pretty much. If you're super lucky, like me, and have Gandalf the White, the best combination for him is you've got your Eagles, you've got your Oathbreakers, and your tier 4 troops. For Gondor, it's Swan Knights. For other factions, you just use whatever tier 4 is yours. Obviously, basically, they're pretty good for defense or attack. Yeah, so you want your tier 4 troop to be there, but definitely you want Eagles and Oathbreakers. Oathbreakers are amazing because they do focus damage. And they do very well with focus commanders. And the Eagles obviously counter melee attacks and just have amazing attack and defense. And Gandalf the White, yeah, just the way to go. The next one here, guys, we've got Gandalf the Grey. Now, you'll see that I use Bow Knights a lot. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Bow Knights are the best tier 3 troop in the entire game. They're amazing at taking down enemy ranged, also taking down trolls and stuff like that. Eagles, once again, very good. Gandalf has some healing abilities, so you want to be using the Eagles so you can counter their melees and absolutely annihilate them. And the Oathbreakers, once again, guys, you'll be dodging Mordor's trolls. You'll be dodging so much damage, unless you go up against like Kamal or something like that who does focus damage. Just remember that you can do a quick, like a scout attack just to see who you're going to be versing. But yeah, I highly recommend this troop combination for Gandalf. Aragorn, the King of Men, is, if you got him, you're super lucky. I think he's one of the best in the entire game. I use Bow Knights, Bears, and the tier 4 troops. Our tier 4 troops are they're like, basically they absorb all the damage at the start. So if you got, a commander that can heal, I highly recommend you use your strong T4. Like, even if you're in another faction, because they have a lot of defense and HP, so they're really good to have for healing. And as well as the Bears. The Bears have a lot of a good attack and defense. They're very good. So, alright, so here's one now that a lot of you guys probably have, Boromir. My Boromir build, I always use Bow Knights, and then I use the Guardmen and the tier 4 troops. Just like I said, the Bow Knights, they're just good to take on the enemies ranged and trolls and stuff like that, whether you're versing Mordor or the Dwarves, for example. And then I always run the Guardmen, just because if you're versing Rohan or stuff like that, or you might come up against some wargs or something like that, you always want to have some anti-mounted, and the Guardmen are very good against those. And then, of course, you got your tier 4, which are absolute tanks. The next one that we have, guys, is Haldir. Now, he's the same as Radagast, who's actually out at the moment. He's out going farming, so he's doing some mock training on his 300. Bears, Eagles, and Ents. This is for a defensive build. You have insane HP here, as well as Haldir's ability to heal beasts and stuff like that per round. It's the same as Radagast. You're going to have insane, crazy high HP, like 400,000. You're going to be able to dodge those melee attacks. You're going to have insane defense from the Ents and attack power from the Bears. So I highly recommend this build for Haldir. If you want to go with an attacking strategy with Haldir, I would still go with the Bear and Eagles and rotate out the Ents for probably some Bow Knights, and you should be good to go. Next, guys, we have Aragorn 2. Now, Aragorn 2, he's a very well-balanced commander. I go with Bow Knights, the Guardmen, and Dunedain. The Dunedain will absolutely murder the tier 4 that the elves have. They're very good at taking down a lot of range. The guards, obviously, to take down your anti-mounted and stuff like that, so when you're versing your mounted troops. And then you've also got your Bow Knights, which are very good against their range. And Bow Knights are just OP. They're versed against everyone. I always have Bow Knights in my builds, pretty much. Alright, the next one, guys, we have Dua Lin, which this is the one where you could substitute some of the axe throwers or the guardians, or basically I should just say dwarven troops. So with Dua Lin, he's a really good defensive build. So I would be using people like the bears, your tier 4s, and Ents. But if you want to trade out any of these, because Ents are very slow movement, this is more of a defensive if you're sitting on a crossing or something like that. You can rotate out these for the guardians, and you can also add the axe throwers in here if you're going to be going up against some trolls or something like that of Mordor. So yeah, Dua Lin's a pretty good defensive build. He's got really good physical attack damage as well. Next, Theoden, guys, basically, yeah, he's a horse master. So you want all mounted. So I go with Bow Knights and your Cavaliers, which have very good defense and attack. And then you got your defense from your tier 4 here. Obviously, with Rohan, you want to be using your Marshals here. Marshals are very good. And then your Bow Knights are going to burst the range and stuff like that. But yeah, I wouldn't really change anything to his build whatsoever. Very good build, because one of his special abilities, when you got him Respect 3, he heals all mounted health per round and stuff every 2 rounds and that. Very OP. Next one, guys, Gimli. He's a good physical attacker, but he's also got very good defense. Basically the same as Dua Lin before. The only changes you can really do there is rotate out the Ents and put in your Guardians, and then probably rotate out your tier 4 if you got Guardians in there for your defense, and you can put in axe throwers if you're going up against the trolls. Next, we have Arwen. She is a very, very, very good healing commander. So you want to be going with troops that have high HP. So the more HP, the more you can heal. Bow Knights, obviously, once again, to verse all of your ranged attacks and stuff like that. And you want, basically, she's really good because she can heal like in the second round. And for Gondor, these guys are going to take all your damage at the start. The same with the Ents. So these guys are both going to get healed a ton, like 200%. If you wanted to rotate any of these out, you could maybe put bears instead of Ents for movement speed if you want to go with more of an attacking speed strategy. But yeah, I wouldn't stray too far away from that for Arwen. The next one with Legolas, guys, I go with Bow Knights, Dunedain, and the tier 4s. Now, you could use Sentinels or Sharpshooters on Legolas. I don't really use them at all, just because their attack and defense ain't the world's best. But in the perfect scenario where you're versing a lot of range against enemies, those combinations could be very good. But we're talking about the best combinations. Basically, so we're talking about conscription time as well. The cost, so how much resource it's going to cost you. I use these troops because not only are they like some of the fastest and strongest, but they also use a lot less resources to make. So yeah, take that in consideration. Merry and Pippin, they've got some very good perks. This here, without an absolute doubt, is the best combination that I would see in the game. You've got your bears. Sorry about that. That's my phone beeping. So yeah, bears. Just use your tier 4s. It doesn't matter what they are. And Ents, guys, you've got your beautiful healing, your defense. Now, you could use hobbits in here as well for Merry and Pippin and Frodo. They're only tier 1s, but in big numbers, the hobbits actually can be a very good meat shield and very good. Especially with some of their perks where you can increase their damage and stuff by like 30% with some of their skills. Hergon, I've never really used him as an attacker ever. Like you see, I don't use many of these guys. He's very good for siege though. So you want to be using guys with high siege, like the Ents, the bears, your tier 4s. So yeah, I'm basically using him for siege. If you're going to use him for attack, I'd pretty much go with everything down, rotate Bow Knights instead of the Ents. But yeah, he's basically used for siege, guys. He's very, very, very good for sieging. Like, you can get 200,000 to 300,000 siege per hit with him. Ori, another good, really good defender and stuff. If I'd use this combination here, obviously I don't have the Dwarven troops. I would use the Guardian, the Dwarf Guardians, instead of the Ents here if I had them. Now that I am actually working on unlocking a bunch of the Dwarven troops at the moment. But yeah, you could use the Guardsmen there, or because you've already got your tier 4, you could also go with the Axe Throwers, and that's a very good combination for Ori. Balin, once again, really good at defense and siege, so you want your high HP and siege here, so this is the best combination for Gondor. Like, yeah, whenever you see my tier 4, you can just substitute your tier 4. Because your tier 4, no matter what, they all have good attack and defense. So, yeah, Balin, I'd mostly only use him for siege or defensive things like sitting on a crossing. Faramir has pretty good focus. He's pretty just a well-balanced commander. He's got good avoidance and stuff like that. I go with Bow Knights, and then I go with the anti-cav as well. Now, you could also use Dunedain in here instead of the Guardman if you wanted. But yeah, in my opinion, this is the best combination. Rightio, guys, so moving on, we've got Frodo and Sam. I don't really use these guys that much. I just go with a very generic build with them, just quick, easy troops. Like, yeah, they're balanced. They're not the world's best attackers, not the world's best defenders. Now, if you have the Hobbit troops, which I don't have unlocked, these guys can actually work very good with Hobbits, which I'd probably rotate out probably the Guardmen and put your Hobbit troops here. But you need to get a Hobbit camp. We actually are at Hobbiton at the moment, so I might be able to work on getting on them at some point, but I don't really use them at all. We know I've made a video of what the best commanders are, like your Boromirs and stuff like that. Most people work on those, but yeah, I'm just giving options for every single one and give an idea. Remember, this is all personal opinion, but it's pretty good knowledge from where I'm standing in the game. I'm a pretty experienced player as of for how long the game's been out, but yeah, let's continue. Eowyn, super simple. She is amazing when she gets Respect 5. She's like Theoden as well. You want to be using all mounted troops with her because it benefits her healing abilities with all mounted troops. The only problem if you're going to be versing someone that has anti-mounted, your healing will definitely counter that. But you can throw a cheeky guardsman in here or something if you wanted to. But yeah. Without a doubt, you want to be going with this combination of the Bow Knights, Cavaliers, or you can use the Catarans or whatever they're called. But I like Cavaliers better, just because they got better attack and defense. They got better attack, not defense. But in my opinion, I think they're better out of the two. And then whatever your tier 4 troop is, like for Rohan, you definitely want to be using your marshals here. If you're like say the elves or something, or the dwarves. You want to be using a different mounted, like you could maybe have the Catarans here or something like that. Or you can use your tier 4, but it's not going to benefit you. Aemir he's a horse master as well. But I use this combination here of Bow Knights, Guardmen, and your tier 4 troops, just because in case we come up against some mounted and stuff on the other side, and that we can we can deal against that and stuff like that. Denethor, he's pretty good all round as well. I just haven't used him yet just because I've been so busy on others. But yeah, just think of Gondor. You want to be using things like your Guardmen, your Dunedain, obviously your Swan Knights or your tier 4 troops with him. And there's some pretty good combinations. I can quickly just go over a couple of the other guys, like Thranduil and stuff like that. I don't really have him. You can see my Radagast that I have, his build. I use Bears, Eagles, and Tier 4. Absolutely, my Radagast is just OP. If you have him, Bears, Eagles, and Tier 4 guys, like, you don't want to use any other combination except for Ents, which you can change out your Tier 4 for Ents if you're defending. But he is an absolute defending god. He's a healing god, defending god. So if you got him, he's like my favorite defensive commander in the entire game. Obviously, we do have a couple more tier 3 ones, so I'll give you a quick little idea of them. King of the Dead, pretty simple. You want to be using Oathbreakers with him. Like, just using him with like 5,000 Oathbreakers is insane. But yeah, you can just use your combinations of Bow Knights, Oathbreakers, and whatever you want with him. Maybe your tier 4 troops. Galadriel is an extremely good healer. As you can probably see from her stats and stuff like that and her focus. So I would be using anything with the high HP, like your bears and stuff like that, guys. Your eagles, your bow knights and stuff. She's not good with Oathbreakers. Like, she has pretty good focus damage, but she has really good healing as well. And obviously you can't heal the Oathbreakers, so don't use them. Elrond is extremely good. You want to be using bow knights, your ranged, so like your, what are they called, like your snipers and stuff like that, your sharpshooters, and tier 4 troops with him. The Rendil is sort of the same. You want to be using bow knights with him, maybe your sharpshooters, your tier 4 troops. And then Dane, for him, I would be highly recommend using the Dwarven, Guardmen, and the Axe Throwers, and your tier 4 troops. And then you got Gilgalad over here, who's, I've never had him, but he's a pretty good beast when you have a look at some of his skills in that in here. He's really good at doing like dodging that. But yeah, you want to be using Elven troops with him, guys. So you want to be using like your bow knights, for example. I can show you the Elven troops real quick, and I'll show you what you want to be using with him real quickly before we wrap up today's video, which I hope has helped you out a lot. If you do enjoy these videos, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I'll be doing future videos. I'm going to have a lot of really good information coming out for you soon. Trust me, like, information, just trust me, super good information soon. Like, you'll see it when you believe it. Or you'll believe it when you see it. Is that how it's said? I don't know what I'm saying. It's bloody 3 a.m. in the morning. Alright, yeah, so we're just going to go, what are we going in? We'll go to our building here. We'll go over to our Elven troops. So yeah, your Sentinels and your Heralds and stuff like that. I've never used Heralds. They got pretty good defense. So yeah, people like Gilgalad, Elrond, using your Elven troops, obviously your Bow Knights, you've got your Sentinels, you can put some of your tier 4 troops in that in there. But yeah, that's pretty much covered pretty much every single commander in the game with all of their troop and army combinations. I hope that really helped you out, guys. If you need help with the skills and stuff like that, I've been through all of the skill trees and that for pretty much all of them before in other videos, so you can go check those out. Yo, what in the hell? Yo, anyone who watched the video at the end, if you watch this video fully, guys, in the comments section, write glitched 200 square. I want to see who watched the whole video. Because what in the hell is this, dude? I have a glitched 200 square right next to my house. That's weird. I've never seen that before. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, I hope today's video helped you out an absolute lot. I hope it helps you guys a lot. As you can see, we are doing extremely well in our server. We're Gondor, of course. We have full map control. We're controlling everything. We've got some big battles going on, which they need me. So I think it's about time I go and help them. So I hope today's video helped you guys. And until next time, peace out, EJ's out, and I'll catch you guys later. See yous. Thousands songs of the EJU.